Throwdown Nation, we are live. It is a Thursday night. We are rolling on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter/X, Facebook, and Twitch. It is episode 151 of the Throwdown. And today we are throwing down with two Orlando, Florida-based wrestlers, Kid Koota and Rhys Maddox. They are mostly singles competitors, but they do tag together on occasion. How you doing tonight, gentlemen?
Doing good. Thanks for having us, man.
Good. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Awesome. Absolutely. And for those of you that are watching this live, if you have any questions or comments, just throw them in the chat and we'll either handle them as we go or do a little Q&A at the end. And looking over at the chat on Instagram, we've got Way Backward. We've got Wilson Dyer, who's a former previous guest on here. And we've got Chris Page from CCP Podcasting. So we'll go ahead and get started with the first and the most obvious question to both of you. And that is, how long have each of you been wrestling?
Oof. A week. No. I've been wrestling just over a year at this point. Technically, including training, I've been wrestling for coming up on 2.5 years.
Yeah, pretty similar for me. I started training in the spring of 2023. Had my first match spring of 2024. So about a year and a half since my first match.
Nice. So, I know the answer to this, but I'll ask, who trained you guys?
Well, I was originally trained by the House of Champions, but I then went and furthered my training down in Houston, Texas at Reality of Wrestling.
Yeah, I started at a flatbacks training school under Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears and have been at the Hawks ever since. Yeah.
Nice. So, and this is a question for each of you guys, because the answer is likely to be different. But what was the most challenging part of the early portion of your wrestling training? What was the most difficult aspect of professional wrestling for you to wrap your mind and body around?
For me, especially since I've grown up in the business, I had a lot of the mental aspect of it down. But the hardest part was just getting out of my head when it came to a lot of the physical movements and the physical side of wrestling.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it was like everything outside of the ring. Like, obviously, wrestling training was very difficult going in, but I moved from New York down to Florida, and I didn't really know many people in Florida at all. So even though it wasn't really in the wrestling ring wise, that was probably the most difficult thing. Just being on my own in Florida. I was living in an Airbnb by myself for 3 months until I had a roommate move down. That was probably the worst for me at the beginning, at least.
Gotcha. So, I'm presuming that both of you guys have been at least fans of this stuff the majority of your life. Is that pretty accurate? Rhys, it sounds like you kind of grew up in the business.
Oh yeah, I've kind of been stuck. If you
I know
where my father is. Hang on. There we go. My father's WWE referee, Jason Ayers. So I've grown up in the industry and been a fan pretty much my entire life. There's pictures of baby me sitting on turnbuckles.
Wow. So it's definitely in your blood. Yeah, I see Jason Ayers actually is in the chat room. So definitely shout out to the proud papa.
For me, it was a pretty opposite to Rhys. For me, it was pretty opposite to Rhys, honestly. My mom just wasn't a big fan of any violent anythings, violent video games, violent movies, or anything. So I was a fan through top 10 videos on YouTube and whatever I could find on YouTube. But it wasn't really until I was in high school when I got my friend's WWE Network password that I could actually watch things. So
Gotcha. So for each of you, what is your earliest wrestling related memory?
Oof, it's actually one of my favorite stories to tell, and I tell a lot of commentators this if they want just like a good story to help humanize me. When I want to say 3, my dad was in a cage match on some indie show. I forget where. I want to say somewhere Midwest. And in the match, they had a ref bump. Baby me somehow got free from my mom's arms, crawled all the way over to the ring and inside of the cage, got into the cage, and was checking on my father before any of the security actually made it to the ring.
Oh, that's hilarious.
How adorable. I think for me, it's just that, like, I had a friend in kindergarten that had an Undertaker and Kofi Kingston action figure, and when I was 5 years old, saying Kofi Kingston was just really fun. So I'd always really like Kofi Kingston. It's just a fun name to say.
Gotcha. So, away from wrestling, what are some of both of your other hobbies and interests?
Well, in my free time, I work for a comic shop. I love comic
that's
books.
cool.
I love action figures. I love artwork. I love drawing. Those are I'd say some of my biggest hobbies outside of the wrestling and kind of what keep me mentally sane.
I'm trying to think, because I definitely spend way too much time just watching wrestling, even if that's a thing that's possible. But yeah, I mean, I think just normal stuff. I play guitar, listen to music, play video games. Nothing too crazy, unfortunately, but yeah, wrestling's definitely the focus there.
Gotcha. What type of music do you play on the guitar?
Nothing too crazy. Definitely just like easy stuff. I mean, like listening wise, like I definitely like listening to music from like the late '60s and early '70s. Jimi Hendrix, Rolling Stones, the band, Bob Dylan, any of that stuff.
Nice.
Definitely my go-tos there.
Nice. I was just asking because, like I said before we went on the air,
yeah.
I'm a hobbyist musician.
Right.
I play rhythm guitar and bass.
Awesome.
So,
Heck yeah.
but so we're mostly a wrestling related show, but we do dabble a little bit into pop culture, and I'm always looking for recommendations. So are either of you watching or listening to anything really cool right now?
We can. I'll plug one of my good buddies, my friend Max Danziger. He's one of my best friends.
Oh yeah, Set It Off.
Yeah. So I'll always plug Set It Off when I get the chance. Going to their live shows are absolutely incredible. Some of the most fun I've had. First and only concerts I've ever been to in my life were Set It Off concerts.
Nice.
Incredible. Good times.
I had Max.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Halloween Horror Nights here in Florida has gotten me really deep back into Fallout recently. And I rewatched that first episode of the
Oh.
Oh, we lost him. Well, I'm sure he'll be back. But yeah, I actually had the privilege of having Max on the show
Awesome.
a while back. Good guy.
Oh, he's the best. He's the best.
And it's. I love the occasions where you've got somebody that's kind of walking in two worlds,
Right.
and being able to talk shop both on the wrestling side and the music side was really a treat.
Oh yeah,
So.
it's great. Like you would like talking to him, like you would never know that he like sells out arenas and stuff like that. Like he's just the most down to earth, nice guy.
Absolutely. So outside of wrestling, what person inspires you the most and why?
Outside of wrestling. Honestly, just like I like to say like my family and stuff. Just they definitely weren't. Definitely, me wrestling wasn't the first thing on their list of ideas of my future. But they've come around to it and support me where they can and stuff. Like I said, like they're all in New York and I'm in Florida, but yeah, I guess that's the best thing I can think of at this point. So.
Well, have any of your family had the opportunity to see you wrestle in person yet?
Not yet, no. The closest I've gotten was I did some shows for Monster Factory, and their weekly TRLs.
Yeah.
I've had the chance to wrestle for them twice, but that was still like about like 3.5 hours from like my closest family members. One day, like it's something I'm definitely like trying to look for, and I try to keep track of some indies up there and some promotions up there to get up to New York. It would definitely be just a cool experience, because I don't think anyone in my family has been to a wrestling show, period, whether or not I was on it. So that's definitely be a cool experience.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So, I know you've sort of got kind of two hometowns. You've got New York and you've got Orlando.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing about New York?
Hills, honestly.
Yeah.
And not having laned roads.
Yeah.
When I like made a trip up north to visit family over the summer, and like I was driving on a road with like 2 yellow lines down the middle, and I was like, man, I haven't done this in a really long time. Like Orlando's just very, very busy, very trafficy, just like being up north, just in like just the quietness and the peacefulness and the seasons. Like fall is beautiful up there, just different color leaves and everything. It's always just relaxing to see. Nice.
Yeah, I'm sure, moving from that type of environment to Orlando, Florida had to be a bit of culture shock.
Yeah, I don't miss the snow. I will never miss snow. I think about like 2.5 years where I haven't seen snow in person. I'm trying to keep that streak as long as I possibly can. was never a fan of the snow.
Gotcha. So, what is your favorite thing about Orlando?
I don't know if it's about like Orlando specifically, but I mean, it's definitely just like cool to like look at it, just a sense of like moving out of like my mom's and my grandparents' houses and then coming to Orlando. Like Orlando is kind of just like a whole new era and stage of my life started in Orlando. And so just like having it be just like the place where all of this kind of started, it's like very just definitive like transition in my life, just being in Orlando to being in New York. Yeah, besides that, I mean, I haven't found any good pizza yet, so still on the hunt for that. Yeah, still need to find good pizza and good bagels to be to be the New Yorker down here. But yeah.
Gotcha. So looking over at the Instagram chat, we've got Lucha Lens 2022 and Des Spike have both joined the Instagram chat. So, they say that the best wrestling personas are usually pretty much yourself turned up to 11.
Yeah.
So tell us about in-ring Kid Koota and compare and contrast him with everyday you.
It's definitely different from everyday me, but it is definitely like pretty much I went to a summer camp pretty much my whole life. I had 13 straight summers there from when I was 8 years old to onwards. I was a counselor there when I got old enough. Very, very special place to me. It's just like a place where you can just kind of be whatever version of yourself. And usually the version of myself that I am there is just this very obnoxious, loud, and just goofy guy. And it's like as weird as it is, like that's kind of the part of me that I feel like the most comfortable with, and kind of one of my biggest inspirations to get into wrestling was just like trying to answer the question of how can I be at camp all the time and just have that fun and be whatever version of yourself you want to be. So in terms of like everyday, usually the everyday Chuck is just more tired and doesn't have the energy to be as loud and as crazy, but it's definitely just in the goal of just trying to be at camp all the time.
Gotcha. So tell us about your very first match. What was it like? How did it go? What were your thoughts? Tell us about the first one.
I'm trying to remember. It was in Bushnell, Florida. Very, very small town. I think it was like a county fair or something. Because there's like I know after the show, me and my buddies like went around to like all like the rides and got like some food and stuff. So it must have been like a county fair that just wasn't like, there wasn't a lot of people saying there was wrestling there, because we had maybe 10 people with about 200 chairs. It was like, looking back, I don't have any tape of it, unfortunately. I was never able to get it, but I wrestled one of my closest friends, Casey Rocker, and we had the chance to wrestle, and he was also my first match at the House of Champions student shows. So having him be like kind of like my first introductions to wrestling in front of crowds was very special to me, because he's just always just been a great guy to me, always looked out for me and stuff like that. So looking back, it probably went horribly, but luckily and unluckily, I don't have the footage to confirm or deny that.
Gotcha.
It was fun.
So we've heard about the first one. Now, if you can narrow it down, tell us about your favorite match that you've been a part of.
I have two that come to mind.
Lay it on us. Let's hear about both of them.
One of them was at the House of Champions. It was from Legacy of Champions, the show we did last December, where Big Boy Patty, also another one of my closest friends, won the championship. That was just a great moment, because like my friend got that title. We'd like been building that story for a very long time, and also it was the first time I bled in a ring, which the concussion wasn't that fun, but the pictures were really cool. So that was that one I'll always remember fondly and unfondly. And then me, Reese, and Big Boy Patty had a triple threat match for a charity show a couple months ago, and that was the first time the three of us had gotten to really like have like a proper triple threat match with each other. And Matt Morgan was in the audience, because it was like a charity show, and he does like some local politics works in I think Longwood, but he was there, and he gave us all like really great advice, gave us a lot of really good praise, like more than he had to, and just getting able to wrestle my friends just in front of like a nice little exciting bar crowd. It was just a good time.
That's awesome. Yeah. Actually, I'm messaging back and forth with Big Boy Patty right now.
Oh, no.
I'm waiting to hear back from him. I gave him some potential dates, and I haven't heard back. So next time you see him, tell him to get back to me.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
So, you've been doing this long enough that I'm sure you have them. So what is your biggest wrestling related pet peeve?
Honestly, it's just like when people don't like know, when people like don't know obvious like things about just wrestling history. That might sound like really nerdy, but like I've met people that like don't know, like I've never even heard the name Harley Race, or like
You're kidding.
Yeah, just like it might just be me, because I'm just a big fan of old school wrestling in the NWA era and stuff like that. So I definitely know more than the average wrestler, but like the people that don't even just like know that like Lou Thesz existed, I'm just like, come on, like do a little bit of research into this. Like, come on.
Right. Yeah. Like I was telling you, I've been a fan since I was 11, and I'm almost 56. I had my introduction to wrestling as a kid in Florida, watching the old Florida Championship Wrestling with Gordon Soley doing the commentary.
Yeah.
And the first feud was Dusty Rhodes and Kevin Sullivan.
Wow,
and
that's great.
and I've said this on multiple occasions. When you're 11 years old, Kevin Sullivan was a scary dude.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
when you're 21 years old, he's a scary dude.
Yeah. Come to find out later, the man was a complete sweetheart behind the scenes. But but he at the time he had the whole satanic gimmick going on, and when you're 11, that's some heavy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so I know that there are essentially 2.5 ways of preparing for a match. You know, you can work it out with your opponent in the back, you can call it in the ring, or kind of do a hybrid of both. Have you found that you have a preference as to how you prepare for a match?
It all kind of depends on the show and who I'm working. It's kind of like just like the biggest factor. And I'll usually, like, if when we're training and having practice matches, I like to force myself to work on the fly, just to have that experience. I don't really know preference wise, because like working on the fly definitely just has a cooler feeling towards it. But obviously just need some more reps with it. But yeah, it kind of just depends on the day for me, I guess, honestly.
Gotcha. So this question I have asked in all of these, and it's become one of my favorite questions because it is literally almost a 50-50 split. and everyone has their own reasons why they choose one or the other. And the question is, if you could only be one, would you rather be great in the ring or great on the mic?
Selfishly, I'd probably want to say in the ring, but if I'm being honest, it would be on the mic. I know that's not answering it either way, but you know, it's definitely cool to be great in the ring, but you make money on the mic, and unfortunately, that's the most important part.
Yep,
I have to be on the mic.
Yep. So, what has been your most unusual encounter with a fan?
I don't know if it's unusual, but it definitely was really cool and very unexpected. But me and Rhys's phone died, and he's like trying to speed back to the house. That's why it's not been on. I forgot to mention.
Okay.
Yeah, me and Rhys, we had the chance to go to WrestleMania this past year in Vegas. And it was awesome being there. My first WrestleMania and all that. It was great. And then as we were leaving, it was absolute pandemonium and chaos, because of course it was. So me and Rhys were just like, screw it. We would just walked like 1.5 miles down the block, and we just went to like a Hampton Inn just to have like an easier place to call an Uber from. And we're sitting there waiting for an Uber, and then this dude just walks up to us and he's like, "Hey, are you Kid Koota?" And I'm just like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're Rhys Maddox?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he like recognized us, and we took a picture with him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like the last place on like that. Like, I'm still not really at the point where I'm getting recognized. Like, that might be the only time I've been recognized, just like in public, completely outside of wrestling, and just having it be in just that random of a place in Vegas was really just, it was cool. It was cool. Felt good. Definitely felt good. Shout out to you, Karen. But
I bet the WrestleMania experience out there had to be amazing.
Oh yeah, like that was my second ever WWE show that I'd ever been to. The first was a Royal Rumble 2024 when it came to Tampa. So I mean, I'm on a bit of a hot streak with it. Royal Rumble and WrestleMania is the only 2 shows. I'll take that. So.
Absolutely. But yeah, I saw the picture of you guys with Jacob Fatu.
Oh yeah.
Man, the sky is the limit for that guy.
Oh yeah, he's the nicest guy. It's like so nice. Everything I've heard about him, it was great to meet him. Very, very just welcoming, warm, kind dude. It was awesome.
Awesome. So in terms of your in-ring work and your promos, who or what would you say are some of your influences? I mean, I know everybody's trying to do their own thing and build their own identity and brand, but who has helped shape Kid Koota?
On the mic, I don't really know, honestly. Like, I probably should know. I'm not saying that like I like don't need to work in my pro. Like, I definitely do. Everyone does. I did like speech and debate when I was in middle school, and like I said, like at camp, I'm doing a lot of just like public speaking, I guess, if that's the right phrase to use. So like when I'm in my promos, I try to kind of, as you said, like try to do my own thing and not take too much inspiration off people. In the ring, definitely Sami Zayn is one of the biggest. I've always just like even when I was like in middle school and stuff, like I just always loved Sami Zayn. Just like how he has like that inherent like not goofiness, but just like that inherent just like lighthearted charm to everything he does, but you still take him very seriously. He's always definitely probably been the biggest in-ring wrestler for me that I try to take inspiration from. I'm definitely more of just watch everything mentality.
Gotcha.
Like even though like I won't take like I don't do anything like Diesel in a ring or anything like Big Show, like something they did was right, and something that they do right is something I can do right, even though we're completely different wrestlers. But
gotcha. But yeah, you know, I'm a big Sami Zayn guy myself, and man, I love watching the old El Generico stuff as well.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
that's a gimmick where I'm just like, man, I wish I thought of that.
Yeah,
it's just such like they're so smart, just like tongue in cheek. It's great.
Yeah. So, you know, you mentioned that you watch a lot of wrestling, as do we all.
Yeah.
But do you have an all-time favorite match as a fan? A match that's like comfort food. You find yourself kind of going back to it, and it never really gets old. And you know,
definitely the one for the longest was Steve Austin Bret Hart at WrestleMania, the double turn match.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, there's no like cooler moment to me. And just like, man, like if like as weird as it is, like, and I wish that was me, of just like Steve Austin, just like covered in blood, just fighting through like that last big push up until he passes out. Just like always just like gives me chills. And like recently, the triple threat from this year's Mania, Roman, Rollins, and Punk, I've like found myself watching that many times. And like a weird one that I've seen like no one talk about was also from WrestleMania weekend this year, but Hank and Tank versus Fraxium. I just like it's almost like it's not like the greatest like all-time classic match, but like to me it just ticks all my boxes. Like it's just so like they're so athletic. Hank and Tank are just so cool and awesome. I love Hank and Tank so much. Like that match will just always be like, I guess that's the comfort food match for me.
Yeah, that was really good. And you know, the match that Fraxium had with the Hardys was insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was great.
So, you know, kind of piggybacking onto that question, do you have an all-time favorite promo as a fan?
Ooh. The easy answer for me, I'm trying to think of any other ones, but the easy answer is Hard Times promo, Dusty Rhodes. That to me is just like a quintessential just promo and just believability, and like you feel everything he's saying, because like it was probably all real, and like just that's just like an inspirational promo of just like like I can just watch this 1,000, like if I watched this every morning when I woke up, I'd probably be a better person. And also like the on the complete other end of the spectrum, like the Cactus Jack promos from ECW. Take your pick of any of those, are just amazing.
Yeah, you know, one of the ones I always bring up is you know, and you were just mentioning him, you know, Mick Foley's promo from his ECW days, the Kane Dewey promo. I mean, just the raw emotion in that promo just you know gives me chills. I mean,
I don't know if it's like, because it's more like a vignette than a promo, but like in like early '97 on like Raw, they were with Goldust too, but they had like a 4-week thing where like every week on Raw they would just give like a little snippet into like the life of Mankind, and that was fascinating to me. Like, everyone they did, like talking about like how he was at the Madison Square Garden when Don Muraco when Jimmy Snuka jumped off the cage, and just like all those promos, and when he like attacked JR for the last one, like that, those like 4 just little vignettes are incredible to me, like so captivating.
And you know, that Royal Rumble moment where Foley came out in all 3 of his incarnations that year, that was just classic. I mean,
I love Dude Love.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Rhys is back.
Can you hear me?
Hey.
Yeah. Hey,
Sorry
Rhys.
about that. My phone died.
Yeah. He was letting me know what was going on. So.
And now he's back. Amerigo, thanks for having me.
So I will ask you, Rhys, some of the questions I've been asking him.
Awesome.
Do you have an all-time favorite match as a fan?
Ooh. The one that kind of really sucked me back into wrestling, I want to say, 2019, right before I started going back to the NXT tapings here in Florida, I watched CM Punk versus John Cena Money in the Bank. In that, I still say to this day is one of my all-time favorite matches.
Gotcha. And piggybacking onto that, do you have an all-time favorite promo as a fan?
Ooh. I mean, I'm a CM Punk fan at heart. I always say the pipe bomb.
Gotcha.
So hard to beat that.
So, and this is a question for both of you. As things stand at this very moment, for each of you, who are the best male and best female wrestlers in the world?
I think we lost Reese again.
I think he's back.
Okay.
There we go.
So anyway, so who are the best male and best female wrestlers in the world?
That's a tough one.
I mean, for male, it's between Roman and Cody Rhodes for me. That's kind of the 1-2, and it's a constant back and forth.
Yeah, probably.
Female's a little bit of a loaded question.
A little bit.
I mean, for male, I'd still debate Randy Orton's up there still.
Oh yeah,
oh, for sure.
I'm loving his work like today more than anything. Like it's incredible. But yeah. Women's rest. Probably like Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair. Yeah. For me,
Rhea
that's
Ripley.
Charlotte Flair's been one of my favorite human beings since I was little. I always got to
Io
say
Sky too. I'm
Io,
loving
100%.
That's probably to differentiate myself. I'd say Io Sky. It's very fun watching. We were able to see me and Reese saw the Triple Threat live at Mania with her, Rhea, and Bianca. And that was probably
one of my
match.
personal match of the years.
Yeah, that was probably the best match I've seen live.
Gotcha. So, and again, here's another question for both of you guys. Who, and this can be present day or past, who would be a dream opponent? Who would Kid Koota and who would Rhys Maddox love to have the opportunity to share a ring with?
I've always wanted to wrestle the man that got me into wrestling. I've always wanted to wrestle Finn Balor or CM Punk, one of those two. Those two are always been two of my dream opponents, just because they're two of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
I could talk for 30 minutes about this. But, Randy Orton's definitely one of them. I just feel like it's one of those matches like I could just learn so much from that match. And Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels or Ric Flair or Ricky Steamboat or I'll just stop there before I go off. But a lot of options.
Gotcha. So, of your cohorts out on the indies right now, who has the best walkout? Who has the best presentation as they're coming to the ring?
I had to say Dustin Joanno, my homie Danny. He has an incredible entrance theme with the entrance motion that matches the theme perfectly. He has one of my favorites, and also Max Danziger's hard to beat.
Yeah, I was about to say Max and
it's unfair
Max and
though.
Mo. Yeah, Max and Mo. Like,
Mo Malik.
yeah, Mo
Yep.
Malik.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
being like backstage as Max goes, like, and Max just has like he's a little rock star. Like, he was on like a leather jacket to like an awesome song.
I had a
Just,
tag
like,
match. It
just
was
immediately
me and Mo. It was me and Mo versus Max. And me and Mo make our entrance. We came out to my theme, and which my theme's an actual song too. It's a custom made song by the band Downstate. But we get in the ring, hit our poses, whatever, and we're waiting. Max's song hits, and I couldn't hear.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
But then Mo also just like Mo went out dressed as the Green Ranger.
Yeah, it's hard to
Well,
beat that.
that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
So hard when I saw
That is cool.
Like, dude was the literal Green Ranger. Like, yeah, like the fact that they're having matches against each other. The fact they're having matches against each other is unfair for everyone else on the card.
Exactly.
So, for each of you, what is your favorite move? What is something you just really enjoy doing? And on the flip side of that, is there a move that you won't do or you would at least rather not do? And that can be giving or receiving.
You know, I'm fine with taking pretty much any move as long as I can take it safely. I love giving my step in cutter. I call it a crown crusher, where I step in off the bottom rope and hook someone for a cutter. I love doing that,
Nice.
and I love doing my fisherman's brainbuster finish. Those are two of my favorite moves, I'd say.
Yeah, like how he said, there's not really a move like I won't take. I've yet to take a pile driver, which I honestly just think is funny, knowing who my friends
Considering
are.
he's wrestled Patty more times than I have this year.
I just think it's funny I haven't taken a pile driver yet. Like I love doing my little dive to the outside. I just like going wee and just jump. I jump high, I jump far. And hopefully someone there catch me. But that's always just fun.
So, you guys have been are both extremely young, so, and everything. So this may not apply, but I'll ask it anyway. And that is, what hurts right now?
Everything, brother.
Everything.
Or should I ask, what doesn't hurt?
I think my left pinky toe is fine today, which is it's rare, but it seems like it's fine today.
Yeah, I think my hands are all right.
So, what is the worst bump you have taken? Each of you.
Oof. I mean, I took a pop-up power bomb, I want to say a few months ago, where I whiplashed my head into the mat, and that sucked.
Yeah.
Between that and a fall away.
Yeah, it's either pick a choke slam I've taken or when I got a chair thrown at my head.
Kind of hard to beat that.
I mean, that wasn't really a bump though. It was just kind of like a chair hitting you in the head, but
Chair bump you in the head, kind of.
Yeah. Well, actually, the last triple threat that me, Patty, and Reese worked, Patty like clotheslined me with a trash can lid on the outside and like something like I must have breathed wrong, but that was just like one of the most weirdly painful things that's ever happened to me. Like that was like I need a second, brother.
I hate breathing wrong on one thing, and you land and you just feel.
Yeah.
No doubt. So we're going to take a second right now, and we're going to play the speed round game. And like I said, what that is, I've got a list of 10 names. We're going to go through the list, and when I list each name, I want you guys just to tell me the first things that pop into your head.
I'm ready.
Nice.
I'm ready.
FTR.
Brainbusters.
Yeah.
Motor City Machine Guns.
Pow pow. It's their entrance fire. I'm gonna go first in the pop.
Revolutionary.
Young Bucks.
Flips.
Super kick. Thigh slap.
DIY.
awesome.
Amazing.
Edge and Christian.
Favorites.
Funny.
Me and
I love
Patty.
him.
No.
Praxium.
Future.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
The Hardys.
Extreme.
Perfect.
Yes, perfect.
The Dudleys.
Scary.
Waza.
And Street Profits.
Who
Jump
wants
high.
smoke? We.
Yeah, there you go. We.
So, what is your take on the role that social media is playing as a promotional tool in wrestling, specifically indie wrestling?
I think it's game changing. I know it
Yeah.
changes the way that shows run. It changes the way that promoters get a hold of their talent. It changed. Social media changed the entire landscape of professional wrestling for the good and in some cases for the bad.
Yeah, kind of along those lines. It definitely is like annoying sometimes.
Very
Yeah,
much
like,
so.
I mean, like me personally, like I'm just not the biggest social media guy. I'm just like, I know it's just now it's a thing of like,
Really?
you have to be a social media guy. It's like you have to be a social media guy. It's not like maybe I can get by without this for now. So like, I mean, like we said, it's definitely like we're definitely the first generation of wrestlers that could market ourselves to this extent. Like I feel like there was definitely limits on how much you could do that going back even like 5-10 years. And now it's a complete open world where you have the ability to market yourself as much as possible. And that's definitely a gift to be able to have.
Gotcha. So, you guys, like I said, are both very young, but, knowing everything you know at this point in your lives, if you could give any advice to your younger selves, what would it be?
Tuck your chin. It gets better, but also stays the same in some fashions. I guess would be the biggest.
Save money. That'd probably be the biggest one for me.
And do you guys have any advice for any young folks that might be watching this that are thinking about wanting to break into the business?
So the biggest thing with me when it comes to that is age. Because I personally started pretty young, relatively young. I started at 15. But I specifically waited to start wrestling at the age of 15 because at that point, it's a lot safer on your body because you don't want to be still growing while taking bumps. It's really, really, really bad for you, and it can cause a lot of very, very big issues down the line. I am glad I started at 15 because starting young, you're able to go through wrestling without having to worry about bills, without having to worry about how you're going to make it to this building. That's all taken care of by your parents. It's a lot easier to focus on the wrestling instead of the real life aspect of it. But do wait until you're at least old enough to where you've grown a little bit, you have matured a little bit, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I feel like for me it would just be like, just like you need to either give it 100% or 0% in my opinion of things, and even if that's just blindly giving it your effort. I mean, like I moved from New York to Florida on my own before I'd ever even stepped foot in a wrestling ring, and I did it for wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like looking back, that was a very stupid decision, and like it all worked out. But just really just before you. Like I didn't start I started when I was 18, and like even though I was like around Reese's age when I started, for when I like decided it's something I wanted to do, I had that couple years of just like really just making sure. and like was trying to thinking about other stuff, not thinking about other stuff, but just finally just being at the part. It's like, no, this is it, and it's all nothing.
Gotcha. So, do you have any pre-show traditions? Any things that you try to do consistently before you walk through the curtain?
I probably need to get some, honestly, because I've definitely found myself like getting a little I find myself like 2 minutes into the match being like, all right, we're in the groove of things now. There's definitely probably some stuff I could do backstage to get in that zone. I always make sure to do some push-ups just so I have a little pump going before I go out there. But I definitely need to work. Definitely need to get some going. Yeah, I'm really bad at putting on wrist tape. So like wrist tape's always more stressful than relaxing.
That's actually a part of my pre-show ritual, I guess is the word. I always make sure to focus, really GN, listen to music while I'm taping up my wrists. I always write on my right wrist AYW. It's an abbreviation of a quote that my mom always says to me, which is "as you wish." Whatever you put out to the universe will give you back tenfold. It'll say "as you wish." It's actually a quote from Princess Bride.
Nice. So, kind of just a quick rundown. What do each of you carry in your gear bag? Do you have anything unique or unusual that you carry in your gear?
I keep my merch in my bag.
The deodorant. I bought this to one of my last shows and I didn't use it. Kind of back on the last question of pre-match, which I put a Rubik's Cube in it because I was like, maybe that's something I could do to focus and lock in for a second. But I didn't end up using it. But
you completely forgot about it.
Yeah, I completely forgot about it. But
can you solve a Rubik's Cube?
I can. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I memorized a bunch of formulas in 7th grade to be cool. Guess it's paid off now.
I can do one side. That's about it.
Yeah.
I'm highly mathematically challenged.
Me too. Trust me.
So, what? And this is for each of you. Do you have a favorite venue to wrestle in?
Oof. I loved getting the opportunity to wrestle twice in the Pearl Theater at the Palms Casino Mania weekend. That venue was gorgeous. I described it to some of my friends back home as a mini Hammerstein ballroom. It was insane.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I didn't get the chance to wrestle for them, unfortunately, but I'd say like it might sound like weird to like a non-wrestling fan, but like any bar show, just like bar shows are always just the right mix to just like little just like relaxed venue and like loud fans. Those are always just those are just a piece of cake to work. They're easy, they're fun. You get some food after, get a drink after. It's relaxing.
Gotcha. So I heard a sort of a snippet of this on, I can't even remember where it was, but I heard a snippet of this on social media. There's a story about Rhys bringing a belt to school.
All yours, brother.
The week after me and Big Boy Patty won, well, it was my first ever championship win ever. I brought one half of the establishment Florida Tag Team Championships with me to school to show all my friends.
Nice. So something that we've done in all of these that's just been kind of fun is we've let the current guest pose a question for the next guest. So last night on episode 150, I had this wrestler from Las Vegas, Thad Maximus, on the show. And the question that he posed is, if you could choose from 3 things in wrestling, which of these would you choose? To be able to have no injuries, to be able to call things on the fly flawlessly, or to never have to train again and have your skills stay razor sharp?
You've had any
No
one of those things?
Yeah.
Be a blessing. No injuries would be an absolute blessing, because the training is a part of it. The being able to sharpen your skills and work on the fly is a part of it. And that's the training aspect of wrestling is what makes it fun, because you're constantly evolving. You're constantly getting better. If you're perfect right out the gate, it's not fun. So
Right.
for injuries and being able to stay injury free forever would be the biggest blessing in the world to me.
Yeah, I'd have to say the same. There's just, as cool as the other two would be, like, there's just not a worse feeling than like being at a wrestling show knowing that you're hurt and can't participate in it. There's
Right.
feeling.
Right. Well, I know that, if you're a wrestler, you are constantly banged up to one degree or another. And, there is a difference between working hurt and working injured. Everybody works hurt. Have either of you actually worked injured?
No, I have not really personally had any major injuries yet to date. Besides during training back, I think it was quite literally one of my first spots I ever did. I was giving a hip toss to one of our friends, and to oversell it, I jumped up when I landed, and I came down on the side of my ankle and twisted it.
Hmm.
That's been the only injury so far.
I mean, like, I had that concussion from the Legacy of Champions show, and like, I don't know if it like counts, but like, I like had a match like a little less than a month after that, and like, I felt fine going into the match, and it was one of those things like after the match, I was like, maybe I should take just a little bit more time off. That'd
Yeah.
be close. Like, I thought it was fine, and then after the match, I was like, maybe I'm not 100% yet. So
Yeah, concussions are definitely not something to mess around with.
yeah.
100%. So, since this is part of a series, do you guys each have a question that you would like to ask the next guest?
What's your favorite brand of ramen? You a top ramen guy? Are you a Maruchan ramen guy? Or are you a cup noodles guy?
What's your favorite color? Is it
So
red?
I will ask each of you to answer your question. What is your favorite brand of ramen?
Top ramen all the way. Maruchan solid, but top ramen all the way.
Wow.
Cup
Okay.
noodles, no. Cup noodles, not.
Hey, a good cup noodles when you're in a pinch is really good though.
Yeah. Also, good top
3
ramen.
a.m. video games. Good cup noodles hits different, bro.
Yeah, good top ramen hits even more different.
I mean, fair. You could also be a weirdo and like take the individually packaged ramens, put them in a bowl, and like boil some water and put a top over it. Like I definitely don't do.
That's how you cook ramen, bro. What do you mean?
You're supposed to put it in a pot.
I don't do that. I just put it in a bowl and pour the water over it.
Huh.
Secret ingredient to ramen: oregano. I'm telling you, life changing.
Oregano.
Oregano.
I will have to pass that along to my son. My son is like king ramen. He just, he would probably live on ramen if my wife would let him.
Oh, I have.
So, what is each of your favorite colors?
I don't know if you can tell by looking at pretty much all of my gear, but red.
I'm gonna have to go with lightsaber blue.
Nice.
Red and purple. Purple's my other favorite color.
So we're getting toward the end of things now. So do you guys have any upcoming shows or anything at all that you'd like to give some hype to?
Let me see if I can pull up my calendar.
CCP Podcasting, they're running a show in October. I think it's October 13th to 15th, something like that. And NRG Wrestling. They're running in November,
I
I think,
know,
in like, the Cape Coral area.
I know September 18th, on my 18th birthday, actually, Houston, Texas, for Reality of Platinum. I know that's my next.
Nice.
Uh,
So
October
when in
4th,
September is your birthday?
Black Label Pro and
When in
13th.
September is September 15th?
13th. Sorry.
You said the 15th? 13th.
I said the 13th.
Mine's the 17th.
Hey,
Yeah,
Nice.
I know.
his birthday's the 17th, Rhys.
So, as far as what we've got coming up, tomorrow, Friday the 5th at 7 p.m., we're actually, at least for one night, bringing back my earlier series, The Lowdown with Matt, which is a music-oriented show.
Heck yeah.
And some previous guests of mine, a metal band from Lynchburg, Virginia called A Day in Pompeii, are coming back on actually to premiere their new song, Gorgon's Head, and basically just talk about what's been going on, talk about the creative process of both the writing and the recording of the new song, and basically just kind of catch up. They are good people. And, they had reached out to me recently just to ask if I would be interested in having them come on. And I was like, absolutely, music is still a major passion of mine, but I've just, I've discovered that it's just easier to get good bookings that actually stick with wrestlers. So, and then on Monday, the 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern, I've got a rescheduled episode 145, and my guest is going to be a wrestler based right here in Atlanta. He's a wrestler and also a ring gear designer, a guy named Jimmy Darren. He actually trains at WWA 4 up here in Atlanta under AR Fox. And that is a really good school and is producing a lot of really top-notch talent.
Mm-hmm.
And then next Wednesday, the 10th at 7 p.m., I've got episode 152, and my guest that night is going to be an Iowa-based pro wrestler, the Ultimate Diva Izzy B. She's a graduate of Black and Brave and is making a name for herself on the Midwest scene and is starting to branch out to other regions.
Nice.
So before we wrap all of this up, do you guys have any final words, anything you want to say, any words of wisdom, ramen recipes?
Yeah, no, just thanks for having us on, man. It's definitely just great. It's great for people that are not as experienced, like not as far into the wrestling business as others, and we get these platforms and are able to talk about ourselves for an hour. So thank you for that. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, thank
absolutely,
you so much.
man. And you guys, if you have any of your buddies down there that haven't come on that you think would enjoy doing one of these, definitely send them my way. It just makes my job easier. But yeah, man, like I said, this is completely a labor of love. I love focusing on the indies, because being a part of telling the story of people chasing a dream is just the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And it's been cool watching a few people that I've had on the show's careers progress. Early on, I had Sean Legacy.
Oh, wow.
And now he's doing well in Evolve, and hopefully will become a more regular fixture on NXT coming up. We'll see. But it's been cool watching him progress, and and just being a small part of a business that I've loved for 45 years is just amazing.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, thank you guys. This has really been a lot of fun. And for those of you that have been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be seeing this on replays and such, thank you for that. If you like what we've got going here, do the old like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until tomorrow night at 7, when we bring the old music show back and have a day in Pompeii on, be good to each other.